Oh, sir.
Huh? Oh, yeah.
I want my change, misunderstood. 2. Day 7. Day 7. Day 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Action. Smush, smash. What up, y'all? What up, what up, what up, what up, what up, what up? Day 7. Hi. Hi. I don't have a lot of time today, so I am going to say hello. Hello, I'm Terrence Taylor. Welcome to I Want My Change, Misunderstood 2. I will be doing this much longer than 30 days. I'm just convinced. I told that to myself yesterday. This is going great, and I love it, and it's beautiful, and I appreciate the improvement, the daily improvement that I'm seeing. The fact that I'm taking the time to do the work and improve it and care enough to want to come down here every day. It would feel weird almost to not record, considering it don't really take that much time, and it would be an excuse not to. So I am happy to be here today. Pew, pew. And I've got some things to talk to you about because that's the whole purpose of me being here. I got some housekeeping notes, and then I've got some fun topics. I hope they're fun. You'll tell me if they're fun. Housekeeping first and foremost. No. Today, what I will talk to you about, episode feedback from episode 6, who this show's for, and verbal processing. Quick, bang, bang, boom, quick hits today. I'm excited to, oh yes, all right, housekeeping, wham. So as you can see behind me, this Nipsey and Jay poster, I love it. It makes me very, very happy. You'll look back on prior episodes and see that there was a glare that came, it was right in this area, right in between the two. And that's because, come on, bro, what's going on today? There's a light above me. And, see, no glare. Ha. That's because there is a black piece of board here that comes down and like angles downward like this, and it's on a ribbon. And so it's helping reflect the light away from that poster, and the glare has been removed. That process is what actually led me to who this show is for, because I was just nerding out on production things and piecing this thing together. And the more I keep reviewing the footage, the more I'm like, oh, change that. Ooh, that thing needs a bit of a adjustment, which is Crooked Ye. My Kanye West section, I noticed on the playback, was just not where it needed to be. And I didn't like it. And it was just like very, very marginally off. So that took some time yesterday just to make those adjustments. But it's like, it feels great. It feels great to just, that's what I mean. Like, that's why continuing to do this and seeing the difference and seeing the improvement and seeing where it needs to be changed is like all you really could ask for. Think about rappers who say, oh, I'll be in the studio every day. You're like, bro, you don't be in the studio every day. But now I see how and why you would need to be in the studio every day to refine your craft. So what is a weekend? You know, what if you love what you do, it doesn't have to be full out 5, 6, 7, 8 hours. But, you know, to spend an hour or two every day doing the thing you care about, that ain't really asking much. As much TVs we watch, as much phone flipping and swiping as we do, like to do a thing that leads to something that's bigger than you and is a part of what your soul is being propelled by, they ain't really asking too much. So Um, yeah, I felt really, really good about those two production edits. And like I told you, clearly I said yesterday, I'm not gonna edit. I'm not gonna edit. I'll just leave it for Monday. I'll deal with it on Monday. That's not what happened. Definitely edited yesterday. The only difference was though, which note to self, what I have been doing is sitting, recording, and then as soon as I'm done, upload the footage to the computer and start editing like immediately. Yesterday was a little different. I did everything I had to do, and then in terms of recording, and then I went on about my day and did some other things and worked out, which I did not want to do at all, but it got done. And I watched some TV and relaxed for a bit and had some lunch. And then like 3:30, 4 o'clock, I was like, maybe I'll go downstairs and do that. And I did. And it was almost being like pulled to do it. Like, this ain't that much work. Why wait till tomorrow? You really are only just hanging out and relaxing, like, cool. You might sit and chill for 6 hours. Maybe just sit and chill for 5 hours. So I did that and I edited episode 6. And I felt great about that, which made me feel more productive and just like less lazy. And it's just like little, it'd be like the lamest, smallest excuses we make as to why we can or cannot do something. And it's just like, bro, I don't want to hear that. I keep telling myself, I don't want to hear that. Anytime one of them lame excuses pop up, I'd be like, bro, I don't want to hear that. And anytime it's lame, I know there's like a brain trigger that's like, that's lame. Don't nobody want to hear that. That's lame. So anytime that trigger goes off, I'd be like, do it, triple down, do it. And it's done. So I will not be editing this episode immediately after. I do have an assortment of things to do today, but it'll be done. It'll be in the bank. It'll be locked and loaded. And I'll come back to it tomorrow or maybe this evening, depending on how I'm feeling. But yeah, that's the plan. So yeah, those are the housekeeping notes for today. And yeah, I kind of touched a bit on the topics earlier. We were talking about episode feedback, which is from episode 6, who this show is for, and verbal processing were my topics. Hold on, let me get my notebook real quick because I had some notes from yesterday's episode that I wanted to share that I just thought were interesting. And maybe you will have caught them too. And if you have, we can have an observation laugh together, which is, if really going to sit here and watch myself talk over and 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 over again. And people are going to come back and watch me talk over and 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 over again. We're both going to notice the small, annoying, minute things as this goes along. Like, that's just me as a fan of other shows. I notice the little subtleties and the differences. So I hope we build that together as a listener experience in an audience. Like, I look forward to having that cool relationship with people that are a part of what we're building here. So you might have noticed that yesterday I said it was Sunday 4 times in like the first minute and change, which doesn't make sense because, and I even said like, yo, it's probably not Sunday for you, or it might not be Sunday for you. Well, that should let myself know, stop saying Sunday. It's just obvious. And I didn't catch it in the moment. Jeremy Saunders of Sick Boy Podcast told me once when we did our intro for a Change in the Narrative, he was like, yo, don't pigeonhole it to Halifax. Don't say you're a such and such from Halifax, because then anybody who's not Halifax is going to go, just off rip. So yeah, Sunday is not, the day of the week is not that extreme, but it is an element of like, don't overshare information that can I don't want to say alienate, but it's like if someone's listening to that on a Wednesday afternoon, like, are they really feeling Sunday energy? And is that a good or a bad thing to put Sunday energy on somebody who's listening to this in traffic on Thursday? I don't know. You could tell me if that's how you feel about it, but excuse me. Yeah, it just doesn't feel like, yeah, I noticed it and was like, I don't do that again. Um, that's, that was my real, like only my real critique. I have Fix the Kanye album and Fix the Glare on the poster. So those two things bang boom. And so that's what I do. I put it in the notes. I say, here's what I'm gonna do. And then I do it. And then if all goes well, all I have in these notes are timestamps. So that's what I have. The beginning started at 12 seconds. Housekeeping started at this time. Self-care intro started at this time. Topic 1 started at this time. 2, 3, 4. Notes on my Kevin Spacey story and whether I wanted to tell that story or not, which on review didn't actually sound that bad. I just don't know if I don't want to be messy about stuff like that. So, but as I reviewed it, the way I told it was like, oh, okay, that's not bad. There's like a way of like sharing information that's messy or it comes off as like reporting. And I don't necessarily want to do either of those things. This show is really about me and my personal experience and professional experience with whatever's going on. So there's a way to take like the celebrity gossipy topic and personalize it in a very specific way. And if I'm going to do that, then that's cool. But I don't want to come in here and be like, oh, so did you hear about such and such who did whatever, whatever. Like, no, I'm cool on all of that. So, yeah. And then my Gerald and Benedict's eating dicks callback. That was great. I'm not a comedian, but I thought that was very clever and thought a lot about how the statements of me eating dicks would sound and how all different types of people might feel about hearing that or seeing somebody say that. So I thought it was funny and appropriate and on the line of, yeah, it's just my personality. I don't care. Whatever. It doesn't matter. It's fun. It's yeah. So great. It's great. So, yeah, I hope to learn how to share more of my like trolly personality. It's just hard when there's not like a person to directly troll and just like poke fun at, but that's definitely who I am. So I got to find a way to do that. And it might just be poking fun at myself and trolling myself. So we'll see how entertaining that is. Yeah, that was my feedback from yesterday. I felt great about that. And as I was going through that and figuring out the changes that I needed to make based on the production elements, I was wondering like who this show is for. And it's starting off as a tool for selling speaking services that I offer as the lead artist from Talks Too Much. That's kind of the obvious, like, hey, I'm going to create a speaking business and coaching business. I'm going to create a show or podcast to promote my speaking and coaching services. Like, duh. Which then got me thinking too about just like my behind the scenes brain and how I love sharing the creation of things and putting things together and how all of how this comes together. And that got me to realize and like, oh, there's probably going to be creative people that will just watch it for its creative elements. Like somebody else who wants to start a podcast will look at this and go like, oh, damn, how you do that? And if I'm going to sit here and talk about how I did that, then I can imagine people wanting to be a part of that. Like Joe Budden explaining the business of podcasting and the bumps he's had to, like all the challenges he's had to overcome. Like me doing the same thing, I'm watching, taking notes. Like, so in a different sharing capacity and at a different level, but I think there's an element of what's happening here that other creative people, other producers, other artists, other conversationalists, other knowledge holders are gonna see and be like, ooh, I like that. I want that. To my original point of like, I talk about Stephen A. and his show and like the one camera and the green screen. It's like, I'm gonna work on my ability to be a great speaker. That comes with time. That comes with continuing to do it. That comes with coming out here every day and recording. But from a production standpoint, like that's the part that, I mean, until we get into a much bigger space, like for me looking at this, I'm like, yo, it's hard. Oh, I didn't light the candle. It's hard for me to look at another show and go, yo, that shit looks better than mine. Like I don't see it. So yeah, this camera was giving me a headache. I have a busy day today, so I just left it there. It ain't moving. I don't have no time for that. But from the perspective of like, yo, I see these celebrities with companies behind them, and I look at their production, I'm like, meh. So I know that there's a cachet and an audience that's going to be built into you being a celebrity and you having a name, and whether you in the speaking space or you're just famous and learn how to become a better speaker. Like I see my production as already like this ain't, we on a different level. And the black and white makes it like, wait, huh? What? Like it'll always be in that space, but it'll always be something different. And yeah, that I think as I go through the process of creating this and sharing what it looks like to do that, I think there's going to be a very interesting group of creative people that I might not have intended for this show to be for initially, because creative people seeing what I'm doing and then taking that and doing it on their own doesn't really make me money. So it wasn't like the first priority, but I see how that's going to happen and I ain't mad at it. So shout out to my creators out there. I hope you take something from this and run with it. I see my sons running around Halifax, Nova Scotia. So I will not be able to visually see you globally, but I know you are out there. And yeah, I mean, let's say show respect, but you don't have to. I see it. I know what it is. I ain't mad at it. And I appreciate it. And thank you for seeing and taking with that what you do with it, whether you acknowledge me for that or not. That's my ego who wants to be like, say you respect me. Say you got that shit from me. But I see it. So it's all good. And that leads me to our final topic, which is verbal processing, which in terms of, why I'm here doing this is a part of my creative brain that has to say things out loud to get it where it needs to go. Me speaking now, I'm processing. Me reviewing myself speaking is processing. And the amount of edits and taking notes on whatever said is processing. And that's really me, like just taking notes on myself. And one of the things that I found really interesting in the Shoe Dog book is how much Phil Knight said that business was him learning how to be a business person created the skills within him personally to be a better person, and navigate life with more intention. And because the challenges of business are just like so astronomically consistent. Every time you think you might have figured something out, like you about to not know something else and you got to learn the next thing. So, and that's like the greatest parallel of life. So, I see how me being a business owner and working through these challenges, I see how that makes me a better person. And so talking through that and having conversations with you folks, with myself, out loud in a journal, that's all how I go through figuring out what is life and how to be my best self within life. And I think that's part of the coaching element. That's why it shifted from a mentorship lens, because I was like, yo, I'm giving away like my life to these people that I'm supporting and helping and mentoring. And the line of personal and professional does get blurred in that way, because it's like, yo, how do I how am I not becoming a better person by doing better business? Like, it just, how, if I set up a process in my professional life, how do I not see the parallels in that and use that in my personal life? Like, it's just always there if you choose to use it in that way. So I'm seeing how the process of me creating a business, talking about the business, how I was doing a 100-day field trip 5, 6, 7 years ago, and just talking that process out loud, whether it manifested or not, I can look back and go like, oh, I was just like trying to figure it out. And I couldn't really figure it out inside my head. I had to say it out loud and then record that and then see how I look saying that. And then how does it sound when I see myself say it? And now I'm not me. And how do I look as someone who's not me looking at me? And what does that look like? There's just, and then you edit, and it's just like, it really helps like refine wherever you're at, or take whatever you have and like really try to understand it a bit more, create some more clarity around what you're thinking, how you're getting there. And if I can do that in a production space, in a personal space, in a professional space, I was like, oh, that's where I can make money. This is a thing that I do naturally. It's how I work through life. Well, what is a podcast? What is a show? What is a coach? What is a speaker? Like, it's just somebody with information that they're giving it to you and they're being paid for it. Like, because I don't really sit and just talk out loud to myself. It's really through conversation with others that I learn a lot. Out loud conversations, and yeah, like there's a like a sick depth to understanding that for me to say it out loud, I'm a gain something at a next level. So that's a bit about how my brain works. uh, and how and why I'm here, and why I think you should listen to me, why what I have to say is important. Because the beauty of me is like, yo, however you might get it today, you might get it differently like 4 or 5 days from now. I have the right to change my mind. I have the right to think about something and then think about it differently. I have the power to say, yo, I don't believe that anymore. And that's a beautiful thing, to see this space develop from day 1 to day 30 to day 60 to day 5,000. For those who care about the process of learning, the process of growth, the process of change, watching that evolve is, people are going to be able to see, you're going to be able to see yourself growing through a similar process. And if you're looking to see how growth and change is happening here, and looking to apply that in your own life, like, bro, you came to the right place. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. So I got no problem sharing the changes. I got no problem talking about the things and trying to understand them even when I don't really get it. And I would rather say it out loud. I would rather ask the question that you're not supposed to ask than sit on the question and not say it at all. Like that's just kind of how I gotta operate. So we're gonna put it out there. We're gonna put things out in the universe. That's the other beautiful thing. Like once you say it, then you gotta kind of follow through. I mean, it depends on what it is, but yeah, once you start putting things out, that's why this is beautiful. Like, all right, cool. It ain't out into the world yet, but putting this out and doing this work, that makes it real. And life needs to be real, man. Living life gotta feel real. This shit feels real. So I'm hyped. I'm hyped to enjoy real life. And I think it's pretty dope that you get to be a part of somebody's journey. I think it is. I would pay money to watch me. I think I'm cool as shit. And the fact that I'm willing to make the mistakes in front of you and not care, there's a courage and a beauty in that I think a lot of people want to tap a bit more into. So let me lead you into that. Off we go. Fearless. Wanting change, wanting growth, not being afraid of it. Walking through that shit, yo. That's what we doing. That's what we doing. Hey, let's go. Ha! I'm done. I'm done right now. That was my episode 6 feedback. That's me letting you know who needs to be listening, who I'm making this show for. And this is my verbal processing. My verbal processing. This is me verbally processing. I hope you had a wonderful time listening to my verbal process. And I will be back tomorrow to talk to you more about I don't know what yet, but life will happen today. I'll take some notes and then I'll come back with something different. So bye. Thank you.
My daddy makes out. And his name is Terrence Taylor. And I took those pictures.